Hey everyone, I'm Trey, and welcome to another beer review. Today we have Astro by Landgrant, which is a double IPA. So what does that mean? That means there's double the amount of IPAs in there. No, what that actually means though is extra bitterness. So if you like bitters, this should be it. If you don't like bitters, this isn't it. But in all seriousness. Alright, so I got the notification my phone was at 5%. So I had to go charge it. But the beer is still here and it is still cold. So let's look at the can real quick. So like I said, this is Astro Double IPA by Landgrant. There's a lot of words going on here. So double IPA, like I said, so we should expect this to be pretty bitter. Hops, mosaic, blueberry pine, Eldorado, citrus, tropical, and Idaho 7, berry and bubblegummy. So it says how's it taste right on the can actually. I think that's my first time having a Landgrant beer, at least in a can. I think I've probably had one at a bar before, but in terms of actually looking at a can and reading it, it's the first time. How's it taste? Pineapple, berry, resinous. 8% alcohol by volume, and we make beer for you. Not we as in me, we as in they say it on here. The beers brewers with the podcast. Okay, so I guess there's a podcast that Landgrant maybe either sponsors or owns. Just seeing if there's anything else on here that's of interest. Kickstarted by Chris and Dennis Benner and some other people. Kickstarted beer, or maybe Kickstarter company, either way. So obviously pineapple berry. I'm interested for that pine and citrus. But let's stop just playing around and actually open the damn thing. My glass today says drink beer, play hockey, and it's from a company called Bring Hockey Back. You know, I do like that company with all their hockey stuff they release, but I never really understood the name. Hockey's never really necessarily gone away. Honestly, I don't think it's even dropped off too much in popularity, based off whatever year was most popular, but alright, it's looking pretty hazy. That's what you want to see. That's a good one. It's about half the can right there. I poured a little bit more head on this than I probably should have, but it's pretty decently hazy. What kind of you expect from this, you know? Not necessarily classified as a hazy IPA, but I mean IPAs in general are just a bit more hazy. You can't really see through them. Versus if you have like a Coors Light or, God forbid, a Bud Light in your hand, you can't really like see through it and see your friend across the table who's 6 beers deep and you're 5 beers deep, and you figured, and one of you's got to drive. And dear Lord. Anyway, pretty hazy. It smells like it has that general IPA smell to it with a little more citrusness. It's the smell of citrus is strong in this. Still smells like a bitter IPA, but you can definitely tell that there's going to be a taste of citrus in this, or at least there should be. Because right now the can and the smell is telling me I should taste citrus in this. If I don't, I'm gonna fucking chuck it across the room. Just reading the can, just make sure I should be tasting this. What's funny, right, is I look a little confused at that pine taste. if I were, based on the smell of pine trees, now that I've eaten pine cones or pine trees, this is what I imagine pine would taste like. If anything, I'm getting more of that pine taste than I am anything in this tropical citrus berry blueberry flavoring or flavor profile like it says it does, or it says it has. Oh shit, I gotta... So in terms of the advertised taste, let me get one more taste. I want to be fair to this. And I think there's something developing the more I drink of it. In terms of the advertised taste, it's a 2, man. It is a 2 in terms of what I'm supposed to be tasting. You know, they list a lot of things to taste in. Obviously, unless you're a beer aficionado, which I'm not. I'm not a beer aficionado. I think I stated that in the first video. I'm not. Unless you are that, it's just not... A lot of... Even half of them aren't really popping out. I think that pine taste... And even, like... I think I taste the citrus. There is a citrus taste, but I swear to God, it's like this. Like, the smell does not... Like, the smell's up here in terms of citrus, right? But the taste of citrus, it's down here. There is some in there. I can't tell you there's a blueberry taste. I can't tell you there's a bubblegum taste. But that citrusy taste. And tropical, I mean, that's just kind of general. It's a 2 on that. In terms of the general taste... honestly, this might go back into the other score too. I was expecting to be a lot more bitter for being a double IPA, because I mean, at least on paper, that's what a double IPA is. From my knowledge of IPAs, is that bitterness, and so double IPA should be extra bitterness. It's honestly almost just as bitter as if you got your typical Voodoo Ranger, whatever their regular flavor is. So it's not as bitter. I think this, it's not awful tasting, but it's nothing really to write home about. I don't think I'm gonna see myself purchasing a pack of this. And so it's like probably it's probably gonna be 2.5. 2.5. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's really not great. It just tastes like a regular IPA versus everything it's advertising, and being a double IPA, it's just not as bitter as I was hoping it would be. In terms of the danger level of it, now this is 8%. I did state that before. And with it not being as bitter as I was tasting, it probably is going to be more towards a dangerous level. But at the end of the day, it's still an IPA, and it's working against it. And those flavors of citrus don't really taste out, and that pininess, which I am getting. Like, I'm telling you, that's what pine tree probably tastes like, is that. It kind of can make it hard to, like, chug. And the taste is definitely lingers in your mouth. Well, and that's a lot of IPAs, but that pine taste is definitely still in my mouth. I'm like... The more I drink of it, the more it just like sticks on onto my throat. It's funny because I went into the state, oh, it might be chuggable or danger level high. I'm gonna probably go with a 1.5 on the danger level. It's 8%. It's not that it tastes like it's heavy. Just these flavors combined, really don't make it easy to drink. And the reason it's still that 1.5 comes from the fact that it's 8%, but doesn't taste, but it's still not bitter, which I guess is a little confusing. But I mean, like, if this thing was like as bitter as I was expecting it to be, that 1.5 would probably be gone. If it was a citrusy tasting, the 1.5 would come back probably. But after doing calculations, it turns out that this beer is unfortunately only a 2 out of 5. Now, it's not awful. I just don't think... I don't think that what it's advertising... I think the advertisement is what's hurting it most. A lot of those things just don't taste... I gotta say, it's really 90% pine, 10% citrus at most. It's not as bitter as you'd probably hope it would be. So it's just, like I said, this is not an awful beer, but I wouldn't put it in a good beer category. We'll take one more sip for the road, though. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another beer review. I hope you drink plenty of beer after watching this. Maybe don't put this on the list. Put this, Now, if you only got this and Bud Light in the fridge, drink this. But I digress. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next beer review.
Guys? Is this Freddy Fazbear? Arr, arr, arr.